See our little ones trying to get up here to the altar? May we all have a desire to come to the altar of God like that. We learn from the little ones. They naturally respond to what is good and right? 25 days until Great Lent begins. You won't hear that in the commercials and see that in the newspapers advertising 25 days until Lent begins, till Ash Wednesday. Because, of course, there's no significance for them in the world that day. There is no sales you can have for Ash Wednesday. There's no discounting. They don't sell ashes, and so there's nothing for them. In fact, it's a time that we're going to give up a lot of stuff, so there is nothing they can offer us. 25 days. The time is running out. As the world, as I've said, and I will say until February 2nd, we are still bathing ourselves in the light of Christmas. Well, the world has just used that date for their own purposes, and they've thrown it away. But we're still in the Christmas light. The light that is shown in the darkness that cannot be overcome by that darkness. A light that shatters the cold nights of winter, bringing the warmth, not of the summer sun, but of the love and mercy of our God. We still are bathing in that wonderful light that has come to shine in the darkness of our own lives. We've come to this glorious mystery that we celebrated a historical fact. There was a day that Christ was born. That's why we, as a church, set it on one day, December 25th. We took an old pagan holiday and made it our own. It's fine. But what we celebrated historic fact is in the past, we are on our way to that which is a constant reality, and it's the cross and the resurrection. That which did not just not have a significant moment in history. It has a historical occurrence, but it is constantly recurring in our lives. Every time we come to Mass, we are brought to the foot of Calvary. And every time we receive the Eucharist, we experience the resurrected Lord. This is a time from that historic celebration to this great mystery of the resurrection that we are in now. There is no real separation. This is not just, okay, we have a break between the holidays and we all breathe. Well, not for people of faith. We celebrated the holy day, which is now pointing to the ultimate day. The new day, which is Easter, not the first day of the week, but the 8th day. And now we hear the calls of Christ to his apostles in the readings. We heard last week from John, now we hear from Mark, the calling of Simon. Last week, Simon got his name changed. We're reminded that now is the time, like when Jonah to Nineveh, to announce that there's something significant coming that's going to change your lives. That's going to make a difference if you allow it to. If you hear the message and take it in, it's going to change your life. So get ready. For the time of fulfillment is at hand. The kingdom of God is in our midst, and it's time now to take hold of it. It's 25 days until Ash Wednesday. For us, we are now about to make our resolutions that I forbade you to make on January the 1st. For those who are visiting us and didn't hear that. Did you make resolutions on the 1st? Are you keeping them? Oh, how quiet the room gets. We know we feel your guilt. Well, we know that that was just navel gazing. Oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to quit smoking, I'm not going to eat so much, I'm going to spend more time at home, doing my work I'm supposed to do, and blah, 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 right? Comes and goes. But for us, we're going to make our resolutions 25 days from now. Our resolutions won't be based on that which we think is going to be important for us. Our resolution is going to be what God has asked us to make a difference. He's going to tell us, if our eyes and our ears are open, as we heard last week, here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. To hear him say to us, this is what I need you to change in your life, because we got work to do. And not your work, my work. You're not going to choose work that's going to make you feel good about getting it done. You're going to do the work that I'm going to ask you to do because I sort of know what needs to get done. And the church asks us, Pray that to our God. You heard the first prayer today? What we're praying for as we approach Lent? Direct our actions according to your good pleasure. According to God's pleasure. God's design. That in the name of your beloved Son we may abound in good works. The good works that we will be called to accomplish, whether it's during Lent or the rest of our lives, are only going to happen if we are doing them significantly for God and God alone. That's when they're going to make a difference. That's when the change in our lives will be made a difference. Just 25 days until Ash Wednesday. We will be called to enter the fast. A fast not from candy, not from cigarettes, not from things that, we're going to do to make ourselves. We're going to significantly fast. That's what the church calls us to do. Traditionally, from meat or dairy products, to simplify our lives. But not a fast for the sake of the fast. And Lent is not for the sake of Lent. It is a workshop. It's a workshop where we will enter into the practices so that we can come out of that workshop all the more prepared to enter into the holy mystery of the Passover. So together with our Jewish brothers and sisters, proclaim that God has brought you out of slavery into freedom. God has brought you out of death into life. So therefore, with that fasting is prayer. 25 days until Ash Wednesday. Listen. Open your hearts. See what God is going to prepare for you so that you can enter the holy fast, the great fast. And then together we will trek to the great resurrection, not as a historical fact to celebrate alone, but to proclaim that it's a reality every day. That Christ is truly risen from the dead, and he has overcome death by death itself.